Hi there, Molly here with another teaching video where we talk more about your astrological natal chart and how to interpret the energies that are in your chart. Now, in a previous video, I talked about how the 12 astrological houses can be broken up into 4 quadrants that signify different themes of energies in a chart. And in this next video, I want to talk to you more about the astrological houses through something called, there are 3 different energies. They are either angular, succedent, or cadent. Angular houses are the 1st house, the 4th house, 7th, and 10th. These are angular because they are on the angles that define the beginning of these quads. Okay, so it's important to watch that part 1 video so you understand what the quads are. And then within each quad, there are these further descriptions of the houses. So angular, these are important houses. Angular houses, 1st house, 4th house, 7th house, 10th house, because they initiate the energies of this quad. Okay, so they're a powerful starting point of the energies. The 2nd house, the 5th house, the 8th house, and the 11th house. Succedent houses, succedent. Whatever is started here is firmed up here. It's given more strength, more clarity. It becomes more foundational. So the succedent house always follows the angular house. And then the 3rd type of house is called a cadent. Cadent house, which is the 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th houses. The cadent house is where things become more flexible, where they need to be able to be transformed, or there's more movement here. And that's because it prepares for the next beginning of the angular house. It's important to understand these types of houses because planets take on these energies. So planets in an angular house are stronger. They are more powerful because they are the leading energy that starts this quad. So planets in the 1st house are about your self-identity, right? And that is an angular house. Planets in the 4th house are about your emotional foundation, your inner world, your family life, how you grew up. This is formative. It's an angular house. Planets in the 7th house, this is your relationships, how you initiate relationships, how you partnership, how you share, give and receive. This is important. Planets in the 7th house initiate this quadrant. 10th house, planets in the 10th house are how you approach the outer world, how your energy goes out and it creates that first impression of yourself out in the world, your energy out in the world. So planets in the 10th house are angular. Then you go to planets in the succedent houses. The 2nd house, you get your foundation, what you value, what's important to you, what you own, money. It firms up, the succedent house firms up what it was initiated in the angular house. The 5th house, succedent house, that firms up your self-love of what was initiated in the 4th house. The 4th house, again, your home life, your emotional world, your private world, family life, whatever that was. The 5th house, succedent house, helps you feel firm and strong in your self-love, your creativity, your ability to receive. So this is a strengthening house. 8th house, succedent house, that is firming up what was initiated in the 7th house of partnerships. People who stay with you, that you create greater intimacy with, you merge with, you share resources with, you get to know them better. It's a strengthening house. 11th house, succedent house of the 10th. The 10th is where you initiate your career. Okay, well, this is where you feel strong in the world, how you relate to people, how you find yourself in the world, how you honor who you are, and how you connect with a bigger picture of your life. The succedent house strengthens that. It strengthens what was initiated here in the angular house. Let's go through cadent houses. These are the energies of things that need to have flexibility. So you started something, this is a strong energy, planets here. Look for that strength of the succedent house. But the cadent house tends to be the one where you are flexible. The third house is about how you think, how you communicate, your language, siblings, your daily life, where you go. And there's the cadent house is flexibility with that. And how you communicate to others, how you communicate. Sixth house, cadent house. It takes what was strengthened in the fifth house and gives it a purpose, a service, a work, a habit. Ninth house, cadent house, that takes what you learn from the strength of relationships about your ability to be intimate and to relate with others, and then how you take that out into the world and have conversations and share different beliefs and different opinions with others, what you've learned about the world, your philosophy of it. And the cadent house is always supportive of what the strengthening of was in the eighth house. Okay? Now this is more advanced information, but some of you are ready for that and you want to go deeper. 12th house, cadent house, that takes the strengthening you learned in the 11th house, that succedent house, what that was, what you connected with in the world, and now it helps you let go. Because that 12th house is about the letting go, the release, completion energies. The cadent house keeps you flexible with that. And then you can see how this quickly becomes complicated based on the astrological planets that are in here and the signs that rule these houses. So as you dive into astrology, it gets more complicated, dynamic, advanced. You can see how there's always more layers of your own energy to understand. If this is all new to you, please know that I teach an introductory astrology course that helps you read your astrology chart like a professional astrologer, like how you go deeper into understanding the basics of your chart and what it all means. You take the planets, the houses, the aspects, and you start to create an understanding of what it means in your own chart. So there's information about that below this course, below this video if you want to learn more about that course. So angular, if a planet is in an angular house, it is naturally a stronger placement. Angular houses have strong energy because they begin the quads, okay? And then planets tend to be a little bit more hidden in the cadent houses because they're a bit more in the background. They're not as strong. So this is just the general ways of putting together these energies. And I hope that it helps you understand more about your astrology chart. There's always more to understand. There's always more ways to go deeper. And it's good to know more of the vernacular. So angular, succedent, cadent, and these describe the different houses. And a good way to think of it is the hierarchy. Angular houses have a higher hierarchy of their impact, of their force, because they, again, initiate all the energies here. So when we say you have an angular planet, it means you have a planet that's in a house or is even conjunct, say, your ascendant, your IC, your descendant, or your midheaven. An angular planet is one that's in these houses. And they have more force because of what they are here to initiate in your chart. So, some more food for thought. I hope this gives you some more understanding of your chart, and I'll be back here soon with another astrology teaching video. Thanks, friends.